Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to C.A.R. Entertainment. I'm your host Dylan Hamilton, and today guys we're going to be talking about the Ansoff Matrix and the Boston Matrix as part of our A21 business studies revision videos. I'm going to go without further ado and go straight into it. We've already done a couple of theorists such as I think we have covered the Berlin and Goshen model, Handy and Hofstede, etc. and all those. But now we're going into a lot of these theories where we go through Bowman strategy clock, Elgin's triple bottom line, the Ansoff Matrix, the Boston Matrix, there's a couple other like Porter's generic strategies as well. So currently a lot of theories now, but these two are actually probably the two nicest ones in my opinion, especially the Boston Matrix is a very, very nice one. I actually hope it comes up, but I hope you enjoy this video because it is quite a nice one. So what is the Ansoff Matrix? And we'll start off with him. So the Ansoff Matrix is a matrix or a model that will help a business determine its product and market growth strategy. As you see below is a diagram of what it looks like. So along the top you have, with increasing risk, your existing products and new products. So if you make I'll first explain the whole thing. So then on the downwards axis you have increasing risk as well, but with new markets and existing markets. So what this means is that when you go to introduce a product to a market, you can either do it with an existing product in an existing market. This is market penetration. An example of this here is setting up a furniture store and you're going to provide furniture. So a sofa still exists as a product, so that's going to be an existing product. And market, DFS exists in that market. There's loads of other organizations that exist in that market. So you're going to be penetrating the market because you're coming in with a product that already exists in a market that already exists. And this is very difficult to do. Although the risk is low, as you see from the top, it's the lowest possible risk you can have. Now then, if we increase the risk on the top side and you come into an existing market with a new product. So if you go into an existing market such as the phone market. So if you go into the phone market, essentially a new product, yeah, you're coming with a phone, which essentially is a product. But if you come in with a phone that has a brand new feature on it that basically revolutionizes the phone. So for example, whenever Apple came in with the iPhone, first of its kind, touchscreen, all that there, it was a smartphone, the first smartphone. It was in an existing market. That market already existed. The mobile phone existed, but it was a new product, and that was product development. Now, you could argue that that was also diversification because Apple eventually went on to create the smartphone market, which is a separate market, you could argue. But as long as you get that point across, that's okay. So we'll move on now to what market development is, and this is whenever you come up with an existing product but into a new market. So if you create a brand new market but the product is already there, if you have an existing product into a brand new market, and then your last one then is a new market and a new product, which is diversification. But there are different types of diversification which we'll talk about later. So I'll go through here now, like market penetration. Market penetration, you will increase your market share and it's achievable using an existing product range of the business and has a low level of risk. You can secure the dominance of growth markets by doing it and restructure your mature market by driving out your competitors. You can increase this usage by existing consumers by providing loyalty schemes, and it's unlikely to require much investment in new market research because it's there. In market development, you can increase your market share profitability of your existing product range for the business. It has a higher level of risk as the products are already established. There's new geographical markets with new product dimension channels, and there'll be new distribution channels there too, and you will have different pricing policies to attract different customers or create new market segments. You then have product development and diversification. Product development is whenever you increase your market share to take advantage of the existing customer base. With the product life cycle becoming shorter, and manufacturers will have to reevaluate their product ranges. Existing products will be modified into a low-risk approach where existing branding policies will be successfully developed. Diversification is when you increase your market share, requiring a business to attract a new customer base for its new product range. And the two types, like I said, are related diversification, whenever a business will enter a new market with an existing product that is modified slightly, and unrelated diversification, which is whenever the business will target a new market with a completely new product. So the advantages of the Ansoff Matrix is that it will help analyze a business's strategic position and help them set objectives, and it will consider the 4 categories for long-term growth whilst indicating a level of risk so they can focus on decisions easily. The limitations or disadvantages though is that it is a very simplistic model and it will not consider the external environment, with focusing on the market potential rather than resources that are required. It's also quite a subjective model, which means risk can be increased, and it will outline growth, so it's useless for a survival objective business. The Boston Matrix then is a matrix that will help a business to analyze their portfolio of business and brands. So for example, if you're a business that has many products, then this could be worth you. You can even put your products into each sort of section of the matrix. Or if you're a business like Unilever that owns a lot of other brands, or Volkswagen who own a lot of car companies, you can place all of these into the parts of the matrix as well. The key areas are market share, as products will have either a high or low market share, and market growth, as the number of potential customers in a market will be growing or not. So the key assumptions is that the market share will be gained by making an investment in your marketing, and market share gains will always generate cash surpluses. The cash surpluses will be generated and the product will be in the maturity stage of the product life cycle, with the best opportunity to build a dominant market position is being during the growth phase. As you see in the top right, you have the Boston Matrix with relative market share on the bottom going from low to high, and the market growth rate up on the y-axis going from low to high as well. The four categories you have are dogs, question marks, cash cows, and stars, which we will now go through. Yeah, I'll just walk you through them. So we'll start off with dogs, and this is whenever your product or a brand that your company owns has low market share and low market growth, and it's essentially really, really bad. It's not doing anything for you, and you need to get rid of it, discontinue, do whatever you need to do about it, but it can no longer be a part of your operation, essentially. Then you have question marks, and these are things that have a low market share. So it's in the market, it's operating, but it doesn't have much of a market share. You don't hold a lot of monopoly power with that product or brand. But the market growth rate is very high, and therefore you're weighing up, because it could increase its market share naturally if the market growth rate comes up, because the market's growing, so naturally more people are going to come in, therefore naturally you're going to get more market share. But this might not happen as well. Other people might just go towards the older brands and they might just increase theirs, and your question mark can stay the same. Question marks can also be known as problem checks. Furthermore, when you have a question mark, it is more than more likely that a business will invest in this, and then it will become a cash cow, which is whenever a business has a relative market share but a low market growth. So usually once you've invested in your question mark, the market growth rate slows down as the cash surplus is generated and your product becomes the maturity stage. But by this point you have a relative high market share because you've invested in your product. So cash cows are a steady income for your business. Stars are the best products you have. It's whenever you say a company, it's the phone or it's the product that comes to mind. I was thinking of Apple there for an example. Whenever you think of Apple, you think iPhone, bang, there's their star product, because it's the one that comes to mind immediately. So it's high market share and high market growth. So advantages and disadvantages of it then. Well, the benefits is that it facilitates the analysis of your product mix, and it also provides a simplistic analysis of the product portfolio for a business. It will indicate the likely cash flow position of the product positioning within the context of your market. And on the other side though, the analysis provided is also too simplistic, like the Ansoff Matrix, and therefore it may not reflect economic reality. It focuses on market share growth rather than the consolidation of the same, and it also doesn't recognize the interdependent nature of support that arises between your products. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I'll be Dylan Hamilton from C.A.R. Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.